Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Soul Land 2 Peerless Tang Men based on novel. So let's start. Seeing that Juzi was writing something, they all stood there quietly. No one uttered a sound. Juzi had taken punishment as the marshal of the entire army. The death god Doluo even arrived to attack her. These things made all her commanders very respectful of her. How could they possibly not follow such a leader? Even though she was a little young and a lady, she was still a perfect leader, considering her successful track record and responsible attitude. After waiting for around 10 minutes, Juzi finally finished writing her letter. When she lifted her head again, her eyes were already red. It seemed like she was holding tears in. "Marshal, what's going on? What has happened?" A Class 9 Soul Engineer asked, astonished. The other Soul Engineers and commanders were also perplexed. It was also their first time seeing Juzi like this. They couldn't understand what was going on. When did she become so fragile? What happened such that she was acting like that? Juzi didn't say anything. She bit her index finger and stamped the letter with her own blood. All the commanders were astonished when they saw this. A blood letter. What is she doing? Juzi slowly stood up and walked forward. Her body was shaking. Her tears were already flowing uncontrollably. "Commanders, worshipped, I've let everyone down." Her tears flowed. Juzi shut her eyes in pain. The Class 9 Soul Engineer who had spoken earlier anxiously asked, "Marshal, what's going on?" "No matter what, we'll stand on your side. Quick, tell us." Juzi took in a deep breath and tortuously answered, "I've received news that the Soul Engineer Legion that the Empire sent to reinforce us has been wiped out. They were killed not far from the mountain valley, along the path they had to take to reach us from the Empire. 1,000 Soul Engineers were killed, their souls were taken away, and our resources have been looted." She added the line, "their souls were taken away." "What?" Exclamations echoed throughout the entire tent. Suddenly, all the Soul Engineers and commanders opened their eyes wide. The astonishment in their eyes was slowly turning to rage. Juzi shut her eyes in pain. "From our aerial surveillance soul tools, we discovered bone dragons fleeing the scene. At the same time, the aura of spectral creatures was also left behind." Bone dragon. These two words were sufficient. Not long ago, Zhong Liwu was riding a bone dragon, as he fought Huo Yuhao outside Shrek City. Eventually, it had died at Huo Yuhao's hands. Bone dragons had appeared once again. Everyone knew what it meant. "Bastards!" One Legion commander roared and clenched his fists, so hard that they almost broke. His Soul Engineer Legion had lost many men, and he had been awaiting reinforcements. Suddenly, he became overly agitated. Juzi bitterly said, "I've already written everything regarding this incident down. I'll immediately send it to His Majesty and implore him to take action. If this continues, our morale will certainly be affected. While our soldiers at the front line are killing enemies for the Empire, we are being stabbed in the back. How can we continue to fight and contribute to the Empire if that's the case? Everyone, I'm afraid my position as your leader is about to end. I've already asked His Majesty to allow me to resign. In the future, I hope all of you can continue to assist His Majesty and share his burdens." As she spoke, Juzi lifted her hands and removed her helmet. She turned around and walked to the front of the tent before putting it down on her desk. "Marshal, you must not give up on us." A Vice Legion commander cried sorrowfully before he knelt down on one knee. "Yes. Marshal, we need your leadership. Only you can lead us to rule this continent." When the first person kneeled down, a second person started to do the same. Along with their hate for their common enemy, all the commanders kneeled down immediately. Even the worshipped bowed down to Juzi. Seeing everyone like that, Juzi wiped away the tears in her eyes. Her expression started to turn sinister and cold. I thank all of you for your support. Please rise. After hearing that Juzi's voice had returned to normal, all of them stood up once again. They focused all their attention on her. There was a strong killing intent coming from Juzi's eyes. How dare the Holy Ghost Church kill my soldiers? We cannot exist in the same world as them. Commanders, if we want to contribute to the empire, we need to rid ourselves of any dissidents, and kill these despicable and vicious Holy Ghost Church members. It's only through this that we can save our empire. Who is willing to write a blood letter to His Majesty along with me? I am willing. The commanders were all united. After they were subjected to Yi Shishurei's attack, their rage and displeasure at the Holy Ghost Church were replaced by fear. However, when they heard that 1,000 soul engineers had been killed by the Holy Ghost Church, their suppressed rage immediately erupted once again. Many of them left their blood on their letters. At the same time, they also left their own signatures. This completed a blood letter. Juzi said, "Pass my order, the army will proceed in the direction of the empire. We'll coordinate with His Majesty to get rid of the Holy Ghost Church. It's only by destroying the Holy Ghost Church that we can continue to expand the empire. Yes. We'll listen to your orders." When these commanders left their blood on their letters, their fates were tied to the war god Empress. The Sun-Moon Empire's army started to disassemble their soul formations, while the Beast Lord rank Soul Engineer legions took turns to watch out for any dangers. The entire army then proceeded in the direction of the Sun-Moon Empire. Juzi's letter was immediately sent out. At the same time, the news was passed on. However, it wasn't to Shu Qianran. It was to the worship hall in Radiant City. The worship hall was the true backer of the army. As he watched the army proceeding in the direction of the Sun-Moon Empire, Huo Yuhao immediately realized that Juzi was exploiting this situation. It was almost time for him to find her. A grin appeared on his face. This was an opportunity he could not forego. Huo Yuhao concealed himself in the void along with Tang Wutong. He immediately unleashed his spiritual detection to check the path in front of them, as they rapidly got closer and closer to the Sun-Moon Empire's army. In the sky, all types of aerial surveillance soul tools were moving along with the army. At least 2 Soul Engineer legions were flying in the air. These 2 Soul Engineer legions were responsible for surveillance and protecting the army. Only the members of the Beast Lord rank Soul Engineer legions had the ability to fly. This was why they were naturally responsible for guarding and patrolling. These Soul Engineers were helpless against Huo Yuhao and Tang Wutong. From afar, Huo Yuhao had already found Juzi using his spiritual detection. While Juzi was out on the battlefield, she was still the Empress. This was why she took a different sedan from the other commanders. She had her own sedan. 16 horses were responsible for pulling it, and the Fire Phoenix Soul Engineer Legion was responsible for guarding it. Huo Yuhao led Tang Wutong as they softly landed on her sedan. Tang Wutong let go of his hand, said, "Go in." "I won't go. She might disrupt your plan if she's hostile towards me." Huo Yuhao chortled and said, "You are indeed an understanding lady." Tang Wutong was a little unimpressed by him, and replied, "If I were really understanding, I should let you marry her too, right?" No. It's difficult to handle too many beauties. You are enough for me. I'm going now." His imitation covered a sufficiently large region. This was why Huo Yuhao wasn't afraid of Tang Wutong being exposed. With a flip, he silently made his way into the sedan. The sedan was very large. In fact, it was an extremely comfortable carriage. There was almost 10 square meters inside. There was a desk, a chair and even a bed. Right now, Juzi was the only one inside. She was thinking silently. Gentle spiritual undulations spread, sealing the entire sedan. No sound from inside could be heard outside. Oh? After realizing that something was amiss, Juzi subconsciously lifted her head. She looked at the space in front of her, which was empty. "Are you here?" she asked softly. "How did you know it was me?" Huo Yuhao asked, a little stunned. He wasn't surprised that two ultimate Doluo had found him. However, it was illogical that Juzi was able to discover him. With her abilities, she shouldn't be able to discover him when he used his imitation. Juzi smiled and said, "Instincts. I knew you would come. That's why I asked all my servants to leave. I was waiting for you, and you indeed came." Huo Yuhao silently surfaced, and sat on a bench in front of Juzi. "How are you? I've not seen you for some time." Huo Yuhao asked a few meaningless questions. Although he had isolated all sound within the sedan, he shared everything that was happening with Tang Wutong. One reason was for safety. Secondly, he was afraid that Tang Wutong would be jealous. Of course, the latter reason was more important. Juzi snorted, "How am I? How can I be well? I'm not fine at all. Should I hate you, or thank you?" Huo Yuhao smiled and replied, "Of course you should thank me. Whether it's you or Shu Tianran, both of you want to get rid of the Holy Ghost Church, am I right? It's just that neither of you have found an excuse to. This time, I'm delivering an excuse to you. Shouldn't you thank me?" Juzi snapped, "You destroyed my Beast Lord rank Soul Engineer legions, and killed the legion commander of my Imperial Dragon Soul Engineer Legion. This time, you even killed my remaining Soul Engineers. I should be thanking you. You are an enemy of the Empire." Huo Yuhao sighed. "I don't want to kill either. However, if I don't know how many people from the Star Luo and Do Ling empires would be killed by those Soul Engineers. It's no longer significant to talk about this now. I'm here to ask you, does what you said to me earlier still count?" Juzi was stunned. "What are you talking about?" Huo Yuhao's mouth twisted a little. "Killing Shu Tianran." Juzi was finally enlightened, and she smiled. She replied, "So what if it counts? So what if it doesn't count? Are you going to kill me if I don't stay true to my word? I'm just afraid you won't bear to. Only you can sneak into my sedan. Even an ultimate Doluo can't do so." Huo Yuhao was a little helpless as he shook his head. Tang Wutong was above the sedan. Everything she said could be heard by Tang Wutong. Huo Yuhao sighed and replied, "Although I shouldn't be encouraging you to kill your husband, Shu Tianran is an anti-hero. His existence will only pose a huge threat to the Star Luo and Do Ling empires. Even if you go back on your word, I'll still target him. Furthermore, I won't show mercy just because of you." Juzi smiled and asked, "Why would I go back on my word? I should be pleased. We are only husband and wife in name. We don't act like a couple. My kid isn't his either." Huo Yuhao was dazed for a moment, and subconsciously whispered, "Be careful with your words." Juzi's smile turned even sweeter. "What's wrong? I don't believe that you didn't soundproof this sedan. No one can hear me. What are you so scared of?" Huo Yuhao smacked his forehead and looked at Juzi strangely. Earlier, she had told him about her complicated relationship with Shu Tianran. However, it was his first time hearing that her son wasn't Shu Tianran's biological son. He was the crown prince. Huo Yuhao turned grim, Did he find someone for you, then? Juzi answered, yes, he found someone for me. After that, he made me kill that person. It's a pity that he didn't expect me to find someone else instead of the person he assigned to me. That's why he needs to die. If he doesn't, everything will be exposed when my son's martial soul awakens when he turns 6. Then, we'll both be doomed. For my son, I must kill him. You should also understand why I asked you to kill him. To a mother, she'll turn crazy if anyone threatens her kid. She'll fight for her kid. That's why you must not doubt my words. I must kill Shu Qianran. We share the same opinion when it comes to this, don't we? Huo Yuhao was astonished as he looked at Juzi. It was like his first time meeting her. Whose kid is Shu Yunhan? Who did Juzi bear her child with? Suddenly, he was confused. When she saw how shocked he was, Juzi said, you don't have to suspect anything. It's my greatest secret. I feel much better having revealed it. All right, tell me, how are you planning to kill Shu Qianran? Huo Yuhao took in a deep breath and calmed himself. No matter whose kid it was, it theoretically had nothing to do with him. He shouldn't probe either. It might be better for him to know less. It'll depend on you. I need you to tell me Shu Qianran's work and rest timings, as well as deployments across the entire Sun-Moon Imperial Palace. If I'm not wrong, given the current situation the Sun-Moon Empire is in, Shu Qianran's defense in the palace must be erected against ultimate Doluo. Given that, we might find it difficult to flee even if we succeed in killing him. That's why I need more details. It's only then that I can truly kill him. Huo Yuhao had personally witnessed the body Doluo's death when he went to Radiant City the last time. Shu Qianran wasn't even hurt, even though Dubuzi unleashed an all-out attack. This showed how protected he was. Huo Yuhao didn't think that he was stronger than Dubuzi. This was why he needed more intelligence from Juzi. Juzi nodded and said seriously, you're right. Shu Qianran is indeed defensively strong. There's even stuff that I don't know. I'll tell you everything I know. To get close to him, I suggest that you follow me. You'll only have a chance to get close to him if you get close to me. Huo Yuhao furrowed his brow. Follow you? You are followed by your female soul engineers from the Fire Phoenix Soul Engineer Legion. How can I follow you? Juzi smiled. Can this stop you? Can't you conceal yourself? Given your current abilities, who can discover you? Huo Yuhao said, nothing is absolute. Just when you were attacked a few days ago, Yi Shishui and Long Xiaoyao discovered me and Wutong. However, they didn't lay their hands on us. They just left. Through their instincts, ultimate Doluo can discover us. In addition, there should be very powerful soul engineers in the palace. They might be able to discover us. That's why your safety is greatly compromised if I follow you. You must think this over carefully. Juzi furrowed her brow. That is indeed a problem. However, just don't get too close to me. You should be able to conceal your aura. Although there are female soul engineers with me, can't you just put on some makeup? Oh, you mentioned that Wutong is with you. Is she fine? Of course. She's very fine, Huo Yuhao answered. A cold look flashed across Juzi's face. That's a pity. Do you really wish me dead? Tang Wutong couldn't take it anymore. Juzi was consistently teasing Huo Yuhao. A projection appeared, and Tang Wutong appeared with it. She sat beside Huo Yuhao and held his arm. It was as if she was flaunting that he belonged to her. Juzi's expression changed, and she coldly retorted, whether or not you're dead doesn't concern me. We are only working partners now. Tang Wutong smiled and said, Oh, wise words. We are only working partners now. Then, please show some self-respect. Whatever it is, you are a married woman. Even if you can't share a proper relationship with your husband, you should learn some dignity. That's the baseline a woman should never cross. You? Zhu Zi rarely got angry. However, she was about to act up, after she was triggered by Tang Wutong. All right, stop squabbling. Huo Yuhao interjected. Zhu Zi, describe the situation in the palace. As for concealing myself within your Fire Phoenix Soul Engineer Legion, we'll discuss that again. All right. Zhu Zi nodded. She didn't want to continue further either. She was afraid that she would be able to take it, and would reveal an even more important secret. If that happened, there would be no turning back. Seeing how Huo Yuhao and Tang Wutong were acting, she knew she didn't stand a chance at all. So what if she revealed the secret? She would only create more dangers for her son in the future. Although Huo Yuhao was soft-hearted, he was a decisive person when it came to the bigger picture. If anyone knew, the ramifications were unthinkable. When she thought until here, Zhu Zi suppressed her deepest secret even further. She started to tell both of them about the situation in the imperial palace. This is basically what's going on in the palace. That's why Shu Qianran can theoretically not be killed. Your chances are slim. However, no matter what, we must try. I'll find someone to coordinate with you when it comes to this. Huo Yuhao asked, are you commanding your army to return to the empire? Is the war not going to continue? Zhu Zi replied, I've already framed the Holy Ghost Church for what you did. I won't directly bring the army back to the empire. If I did, Shu Qianran would surely suspect me. When we reach the border, I'll relieve myself of any military authority, and lead some of my soul engineers towards the capital. There, I'll plead guilty in front of Shu Qianran. That will be your chance. Huo Yuhao nodded and said, indeed, it's not encouraged to bring your entire army back. It'll be too obvious. Shu Qianran will also become more alert. What other plans do you have? Zhu Zi replied, I understand Shu Qianran very well. This time, I've framed the Holy Ghost Church. 1,000 soul engineers were killed. They are the main pillars of the empire. Shu Qianran won't be able to hold it in anymore after learning that they are dead. He might even consolidate whatever strength he has when I return, before attacking the Holy Ghost Church, and removing them completely. When that happens, there's bound to be a violent confrontation. That's also going to be when Radiant City is at its most chaotic. That will be another chance to strike. Tang Wutong twisted her lips. That's a really vicious ploy. Zhu Zi snorted, come up with a better plan if you can. Tang Wutong smiled and replied, I don't have to think of another plan. Women don't always have to be so intelligent. If they were, what would be left for their lover to experience? I'm stupid, but it's enough that Yuhao is clever. Vicious. Even Huo Yuhao couldn't help but be impressed. Women were much more powerful when they bickered with one another. Indeed, Zhu Zi's aura became a little unbalanced after hearing Tang Wutong's words. She glared at her fiercely. All right, we'll proceed with the detailed plan once we reach Radiant City. Since you're going to place me within your Fire Phoenix Soul Engineer Legion, do it quickly. We'll be nearby. I'll use my spiritual detection to communicate with you. One day later, I'll come find you. Okay. Zhu Zi nodded obediently. She also changed her expression very quickly. Huo Yuhao and Tang Wutong silently disappeared. Zhu Zi remained seated in the sedan, and everything returned to normal very soon. She shut her eyes and quietly thought. When it came to this matter, they had to succeed. Zhu Zi knew what she lacked. She lacked someone powerful beside her. Undoubtedly, Huo Yuhao and Tang Wutong's arrival had changed this. From how Huo Yuhao had defeated Zhong Liwu, it showed that he possessed the ability to kill Xu Qianran. This was even more plausible since he was very skilled at concealment. When it came to this, even an ultimate Doluo couldn't compare to him. This was why she had to succeed this time, no matter what. If they missed out on this opportunity, it would be almost impossible. When she thought until here, Juzi started to think of a detailed plan. She had a series of plans she wanted to complete. Many details still had to be perfected. After exiting the sedan, Huo Yuhao and Tang Wutong silently rose into the sky before they carefully maintained their distance from the Sun Moon Empire army. HMPH. She's bad. Tang Wutong commented furiously. Seeing how furious she was, Huo Yuhao couldn't help but comfort her. Don't be angry. She's actually having it very hard. She's a woman, but she's under so much pressure. Do you feel that much pity for her? Tang Wutong smiled as she looked at Huo Yuhao. Huo Yuhao instantly shut his mouth. It was not a good idea to piss Tang Wutong off at such a time. Tang Wutong's smile slowly turned into a heavy look. After this, she leaped into Huo Yuhao's embrace and tightly hugged him around his waist. I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm acting like a child. However, I can't help it. The others are fine. Are there really a lack of girls who like you? Don't think I don't know. Yi Gai and Nan Qiuqiu actually fancy you. However, for some reason, I don't think they pose any threat. Only Zhu Zi is different. I feel that her relationship with you is a little unclear. If not for the fact that I fully trust you, I might think that her child has something to do with you. Huo Yuhao laughed. Don't spout nonsense. How can that be possible? I'm still a. What? Tang Wutong looked very innocent. Huo Yuhao snapped, let's not talk about it. Whatever it is, I'm the same as you. How can it be the same? You're a man, but I'm a woman. How can we possibly be the same? Tang Wutong was already fully grinning by now. Do you really want to know? Huo Yuhao lowered his head and looked at her seriously. Tang Wutong was intelligent. Before Huo Yuhao could make a move, she immediately jumped out of his embrace and turned around before fleeing. No, I don't want to know. Too late. Huo Yuhao screamed before he pursued her. They chased after each other in the sky just like that. The earlier unhappiness also gradually disappeared. Sun Moon Empire. Radiant City. Imperial Palace. Bang. Xu Qianran slammed the letter in his hand on the table. His servants immediately kneeled down. They were all shaking. They were afraid that he would vent his anger on them. Over the past few days, many servants had incurred his wrath, and paid the price of death as a result. Bastards! Is the Holy Ghost Church intent on revolting? Xu Qianran's aura had turned unstable. Not long ago, he had pondered Zhu Zi's sin of memorandum for some time before he responded. The Holy Ghost Church shared a tense relationship with the army. That was something that had been true for some time. However, Xu Qianran was a little doubtful that the Holy Ghost Church would attack and loot from the army. At least, it wasn't an agenda that was in the best interests of the Holy Ghost Church. However, the truth was displayed in front of him. 2 Beast Lord-ranked Soul Engineer legions had suffered heavy losses. From the evidence, everything pointed to the evil soul masters from the Holy Ghost Church. This led to an intense reaction from the army. Zhong Liwu had disappeared to some unknown place after his fight with Huo Yuhao. He didn't have an opportunity to explain. After that, the army started a mutiny. Many lower to mid-tier evil soul masters from the Holy Ghost Church were killed. Only the titled Doluo managed to escape. This intensified the conflict, and Yi Shishui personally came to look for Xu Qianran. Xu Qianran expressed his intention to investigate this matter thoroughly. However, how was he supposed to do that? Although he was the emperor, he wasn't the only one calling the shots in the empire. Among those who died, there was someone very important. It was the Legion commander of the Imperial Dragon Soul Engineer Legion, who represented the interests of the members of the imperial family. His death was also accompanied by the loss of many high-tier stationary soul cannon shells that the Imperial Dragon Soul Engineer Legion had accumulated for years. Almost all of them were gone. How much did that cost? The imperial family was the pillar of the empire and the leaders of the nobles. Their interests were too important. Even though Xu Qianran wielded great power, he couldn't ignore them. The losses suffered by the Imperial Dragon Soul Engineer Legion almost drove the members of the imperial family crazy. Xu Qianran was also under a lot of pressure. The war god Empress was also highly protected by these members of the imperial family. From different avenues, they managed to find out what was happening at the front line. They were very satisfied with Juzi's protection of her soul engineers. It was important to know that the Imperial Dragon Soul Engineer Legion was responsible for killing the most evil soul masters from the Holy Ghost Church when the mutiny occurred. The pressure from both sides was focused on Xu Qianran. His decision was obvious. The Holy Ghost Church was becoming less and less of an asset. He couldn't shake the empire's foundations because of them. This was not to even mention that Juzi was his most trusted aide, who also contributed greatly to the empire. The Heavenly Soul Empire was now part of the Sun-Moon Empire. Without any back-end disturbance, the Douling and Star Luo empires would suffer the same fate very soon. Xu Qianran wasn't worried about this at all. With the resources of the Heavenly Soul Empire, the Sun-Moon Empire developed even more smoothly. Juzi also had a deep hatred for the Star Luo Empire. She was intent on attacking them. She had arranged them to be the last not because her hate for them had dissipated, but because she wanted to deal with them when the Sun-Moon Empire was at its strongest. As a result, Xu Qianran wrote a memorandum to admonish her heavily. When she returned to the empire, she would be punished. However, this didn't have any real meaning. When it came to this matter, it was obvious that Xu Qianran no longer gave the Holy Ghost Church any face. However, this couldn't be helped either. If he cared too much about the Holy Ghost Church, what would happen to his own soul engineers? What would happen to the imperial family? What about the nobles? The evil soul masters from the Holy Ghost Church were ostracized. This was a good opportunity to slowly make them less powerful. When Yi Shishui left, Xu Qianran did consider that the Holy Ghost Church would take revenge. However, the Holy Ghost Church had also developed very quickly over these years, because of the Sun-Moon Empire's support. Some of their soul masters with flawed martial souls, or with martial souls that were likely to mutate, were taken under the wing of the Holy Ghost Church, and trained using the methods of evil soul masters. The Holy Ghost Church's headquarters was also in the Sun-Moon Empire. No matter how displeased the Holy Ghost Church was, they couldn't possibly ignore their own foundation. However, it seemed like Xu Qianran had underestimated how evil these soul masters were. 1,000 soul engineers, killed just like that. All their resources had also been looted. Apart from those from the Holy Ghost Church, who could have done this? Bone Dragon. Despicable Bone Dragon. Zhongliwu, you didn't return to carry out your duties, but you killed my army. Very good, very good. A sinister smile surfaced on Xu Qianran's face. No matter how cruel he was, he still had to empathize with his soldiers' feelings. His soldiers had killed many enemies at the front line. While not many of them died at their enemies' hands, many of them were killed by those on the same side. If he looked at this from another perspective, he couldn't possibly tolerate this incident if he were a general. The blood print on every blood letter was very clear. He also had an impression of the names of those who had written the letters. How pressed must they be to write such letters? Zhu Zi's letter is at the bottom of the pile. It's evident that she is under a lot of pressure. If I don't deal with this matter well, I'll most definitely shake the foundation of the empire. I can only cut my losses now. When he thought until here, his face turned even colder. His killing intent also appeared. Reporting. There's news from the war god Empress at the front line. Report. This time, there were no letters. It was news transmitted using transmission soul tools. A special messenger noted down the contents and directly reported to Xu Qianran. When he saw this letter, Xu Qianran immediately turned grim. Zhu Zi had reported to him that the morale of her soldiers was very low. They also hated the Holy Ghost Church to the core. They couldn't take it anymore, and wanted an explanation. To prevent any further mutiny, she had no choice but to accede to their request. She led the entire army to the border, and was planning to station them near the Mingdo mountain range. On the one hand, she was trying to strike fear in the heart of the Star Luo Empire. On the other hand, she wanted to quickly bring the generals back into Radiant City to receive further instructions. This video will end here.